Survivors of last night's deadly stampede in northern India have painted a chaotic scene of the final moments leading up to the tragedy, which left more than 120 people dead, most of them women and children. Now, this as authorities begin piecing together what exactly caused the country's deadliest stampede in more than a decade. Now, the gathering took place in Hathras district in Uttar Pradesh, just 200 kilometers southeast of the capital, New Delhi. The event was near a main highway, which was also packed with people and vehicles, restricting access to the site. Witnesses recalled seeing people fall on top of each other when crowds began leaving the event all at once.
मेरी ड्यूटी मंच पे थी, जैसे प्रोग्राम समाप्त हुआ भीड़ निकली, मैं भी भीड़ के साथ थी और भीड़ काफ़ी थी, बिल्कुल पैर रखने की जगह नहीं थी, एक के ऊपर एक निकल रहे थे बाहर को। फिर एकदम से लोग बस चक्कर खा के गिरने लगे। मैंने भी प्रयास किया काफ़ी महिलाओं को उठाने का।
हमने फिर कचरा देखा, हम तो चिल्ला रहे, अरे निकालो, अरे निकालो, अरे निकालो, अरे निकालो।
Police say some 250,000 people attended the event, which involved a popular Hindu preacher, Surajpal, also known as Bhole Baba, delivering a sermon. Now, that's more than triple the permitted capacity of 80,000. According to a police report, chaos ensued when thousands of devotees ran towards the preacher, leaving his car. People were pushing and shoving, and some fell to the ground and got trampled on. Authorities say organisers had tried to destroy evidence of a stampede by throwing away belongings of victims into neighbouring fields. Police are looking to arrest the organisers and the self-styled guru who led the event.
बाबा जी की गाड़ी निकल चुकी है यहाँ से, जिसके बाद में वो चरण छूने के लिए यहाँ आई हैं, जो नौरी जैसे और भीड़ पे भीड़ फिर यहाँ पर ही हादसा होने लगा है। रुकी नहीं है भीड़, काबू नहीं हो पाई भीड़। इस दौरान दब के हादसा हुआ, एक के ऊपर एक हादसा हुआ है।
Well, let's bring in Neha Poonia now. She's joining us live from New Delhi. Neha, amid allegations of hiding of evidence, what more do we know about the investigations?
Well, Wednesday has seen officials move quickly to try and piece together what happened. They've registered a police complaint on charges of culpable homicide not amounting to murder, as well as, a charge of trying to tamper with evidence. Police officials say that they've collected forensic evidence from the site, and that's where they found, slippers and belongings of the victims chucked into the fields next to where that congregation was being held on Tuesday. They've also booked the organisers and some of the, workers who were staffed under the self-styled Godman's main team. But they've not booked, interestingly, the self-styled Godman, which has been criticised by victims. Officials say that it looks like, from eyewitness accounts, that the crush started when that Godman, the preacher, was trying to leave that venue, when hundreds of devotees rushed forward to seek his blessings and collect the soil from the ground where he had walked, and that's when the stampede started. They're saying that's when, hundreds of people were pushed into one another. Some tried to escape to a neighbouring field, but many fell on top of each other, and that's how many sustained severe injuries. But, given the scale of the event, we're talking about 250,000 people when just 80,000 were permitted to attend that gathering. There was a lot of chaos, and eyewitnesses are talking about dust storms. Some are talking about how exit points were blocked. But officials say they're going to take a look at procedural lapses as well, not just the role of the organisers, but how local officials granted such a massive gathering permission, why there was no crowd control measure or plan in place, and why there were no safety protocols either.
A lot of questions still to be answered, but the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh has made a visit to offer his condolences, only to be met by massive blame from the opposition. What are they angry about?
this is what many angry Indians have been talking about. Many have said that they're worried that this is now going to descend into a political blame game and the victims will be ignored. But on the ground, we saw Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, which is India's most populous state, visit the site where the stampede happened, but also interact with the victims and their families in local hospitals. Now, he said it appears that the organizers were trying to tamper with evidence and hide the fact that a stampede had occurred from authorities, essentially pointing fingers at the organizers, not working with local officials to try and prevent such a tragedy from happening. He's also said that, the government is taking this tragedy seriously and they will implement a standard operating procedure for religious gatherings like these to ensure it doesn't happen again. But the opposition is saying that the local government of Uttar Pradesh is to blame, particularly a regional party which is a key ally of the opposition India bloc. Samajwadi Party is saying that the officials should be held accountable for giving permission to such a large gathering, for not cracking down when so many people had gathered there and only acting later on. They're also questioning why victims of this tragedy were not given immediate medical attention. We've seen videos circulating online that show people carrying their loved ones in their arms on makeshift shelters, bodies lying piled up outside local hospitals. And the opposition is saying that many lives possibly could have been saved. The government says a probe will investigate all of these questions. And we also saw on Wednesday the upper house of India's parliament condoling the deaths of these victims by observing a minute of silence.
All right, we have to leave it there, Neha, but thank you so much for that update. Neha Poonia reporting to us from New Delhi.